Hey, everybody, it's Eddie from Tokyo. This is your cryptocurrency update from Japan. And just before I went to video this, I double checked Twitter to see if I received a confirmation, and I did. And I'm really happy to tell you that Sam and the Digital Nomad Investor and Mickey B. Fresh and myself are going to do an AMA with the Flare Network so that we can get a lot of questions answered in regards to the Spark token. And I know that everybody in the XRP community is quite interested in knowing just how to claim it. And once it's claimed, what do you have to do? And why would I claim it? And what's it going to do for XRP, the digital asset, and all of that good stuff. So do stay in touch. I will have a date for you very soon. I'm thinking within the next 10 days, I think we'll have a date for that AMA. But also, this first story is so interesting. I am on the Twitter feed of Jana One Trick. She is something. And she found a very interesting thing. This is some new Ripple logos that have been registered. And one of the registrations is for a Ripple X. And I also found that the person who is registering these, I did find that it is Mr. Thomas Hadid, and he has registered actually 83 different logos, not all for Ripple, but many of them for Ripple, like Blockstars and PayID. And yes, there is this Ripple X, two different ways, and also a Ripple Impact. So if you go to Jana One Trick's Twitter page, you can find links to the actual registrations. I don't know. What do you think? I think it's definitely some new business that's coming up. My guess is it's going to happen soon because I don't think they register these way out in advance. The XRP community is just too good at finding things. And so I don't think they would register it way in advance. I got a feeling something is coming very soon. All right, here you are looking at the Deputy Prime Minister of Japan, the Minister of Finance as well, and he opened up today's FinSum Summit 2020 with a keynote, and the speech was great. It's in English, which was so fun to hear him speak English because that is something I never get to hear, but the sound is just horrible. I have it 100% up on the YouTube and also with my PC, and you can hear. Needed is for all of us to get together. It's just too quiet. In a nutshell, he said that people still look at regulators with a sort of hostility, and it may stem from the assumption that regulators lack technological understanding and thus could hinder innovation. However, what is needed for all of us is to get together and work together to design the proper use of technology under better governance. Yeah, this country, Japan, has really embraced blockchain and technology, and I just hope that the United States follows the lead. And you can see I did tweet it out to President Trump. Will he see it? Probably not, but it felt good to do it anyway. And in addition, there was virtually attending the summit David Rudder. He is the CEO of R3. He had a great story. He had a good presentation too. He talked about how, I think, when he was very young, he was working construction and actually was doing some of that construction work for one of the biggest bridges in the East Coast. And now he talks about how he is building bridges for businesses, and he's doing it, of course, with the enterprise solution Corda. And he leads 350 employees in 13 different countries, and he's doing really good work. And also, we are so lucky to have had Emi Yoshikawa give her presentation because they translated it in English. So I'll put a link down in the description below. It's really, really good. If you are especially new to this space, you're going to want to watch this. She is the director of global operations. Yeah, she's got a big job and she is doing really good work. And this presentation that she gave just keeps going the extra mile here in Japan. She got another write-up yet again on the 23rd with TechCrunch. And it's just, I've never seen this kind of coverage in Japan about Ripple and XRP. It's just superb. Emmy, this is such a beautiful picture of you. You need to use this picture on all your profiles. Now, are you familiar with The Hill? This is the political website that's read by the White House lawmakers. It's published in Washington, D.C. It's been around since 1994. It focuses primarily on politics, policy, and international relations. And the editor is Bob Cusack. I went to his Twitter page and I had to laugh because he is telling people how to pronounce Kamala Harris's name. And I just had to laugh because almost every video I do, somebody is correcting my pronunciation, like, you know, Visa Wind, or don't say Siam Commercial Bank, say Siam Commercial Bank. And please don't say Hester Pierce, it's Hester Purse. And the most recent one I learned, which I'm really glad to have learned, is the deputy director of the IMF is Kristalina Georgieva. Two hard G's, like Google, not Georgieva, but Georgieva. Anyway, we should do a website devoted to the correct pronunciations of everything we use in the XRP community. Now, going back to The Hill, there is a very important article. It's an opinion piece, and the contributor is Ripple's chairman, Chris Larsen, and it dropped on August 21st. It's titled, "The Tech Cold War is Here and the US Isn't Winning." He writes that we must do everything we can to avoid losing our economic leadership, and that fundamental change is upon us because China, has a once-in-a-century opportunity to replace the dollar with the digital yuan, and China has already achieved near universal use of digital payments, and they also have that 65% of the hash rate power of Bitcoin in terms of mining. And that means that they have the majority, and they could wield control over the protocol, and it could then result in like blocking of transactions, could reverse transactions. It's very precarious, and the US really needs to adopt a far more supportive regulatory approach to blockchain and cryptocurrencies, very similar to what Japan has done. And he wraps up the article with, just as the US set clear, consistent policies that won the internet revolution, it must do the same with financial technology and blockchain. Now, I just want to point you in a direction for a little bit of extra research, because you may not have known, but there was a 20-minute audio leak about, it was in June, and it was from a longtime legal scholar and internal party advocate, and she gave her support to a businessman who actually had lambasted the government with their heavy hand on media. And she was immediately expelled from the party. And I think she has safely left China because she did give an interview to The Guardian. Now, there's something in that Guardian interview that gave me pause, and that was that she cites that 70% of the party members want reform. That's a huge amount. And we don't need any instability right now, because with Bitcoin leading the charge for the whole entire ecosystem, we need to see it stay stable, and in order to have a healthy, stable ecosystem so that it can grow, we just don't need any of this craziness because of the control that these Chinese miners have. So it's it's concerning. It really is concerning. So I am telling you, though, there is one person in the United States who has made great strides in a very short period of time, and that's the acting comptroller of currency, Brian Brooks. And he has really just amazing that he gave up his $1.4 million salary at Coinbase, according to Bloomberg, to work for just $300,000 a year running the OCC. Now, he may have given up a lot of money, but I don't think he gave up a lot of power. He is really one that is making change happen. And I found a new podcast with him discussing the stable coins. Then I will put a link to it in the description below. But the reason why I'm showing you this is because if we see a change of presidents, it's possible he doesn't keep that position because that position is appointed by the president. Now, I don't know. This is from Politico, August 21st, and Biden seems to already be looking at forming his cabinet. And I don't know even if he goes in, if Brian Brooks will be replaced, but it is something that we have to consider. So we really want him to do as much work as possible, right? I'm going to put a link to this new podcast. He has the conversation with Ben Jackson, and they're talking about those stable coins or the digital dollar. You know, whether it's the CBDC, the central bank digital currency, or you call it the digital dollar, or you call it a stable coin, it's all the same. It is a one-to-one digital currency that is back to fiat. And in this case, we are looking at possibly getting a digital dollar. You know, we have already digital currencies like Tether, but that really needs to have a good audit. And there's Paxo. So I want you to just know that sometimes those names are interchanged, and it's all basically the same. It's a digital one-to-one based on whatever currency that you're in based on the country. Now, there was an article in Crypto News and it says, could stable coins kill off Ripple? Well, I'll tell you, I need to address this because I'm going to give this writer, Alex Lilacker, the benefit of the doubt. And I'm going to say that he probably just doesn't understand XRP. Yeah, he's totally misinformed. He's out of touch. And I just want to show you, Alex, that XRP does not compete with stablecoins. It does not. And I'm going to play for you a podcast that has the senior developer for the Bank of Thailand that just moved a stablecoin through the form of a central bank digital currency across borders with Hong Kong. And they ran into some great trouble with that. And the trouble is liquidity. And this is what XRP is used for. It's a bridge currency, and it provides the liquidity. It solves that problem. So please have a listen, and you can see even among the most technical, savvy countries of Thailand and Hong Kong moving this stable coin between their countries without a bridge currency. They needed to have help from a settlement bank. And as you can hear here, he says it was complicated. Listen.
Create this internal landlock project. And what we try to achieve is we want to study this interoperability between two RTGS from different countries. How can we sort of transfer the money from one place to the other place using this new technology and without what we call the corresponding banks model. That's a typical model that people use during this time. So we kind of come up with a new model that we call the corridor network that sort of connect the Thai blockchain to the Hong Kong blockchain, RTGS, and we can transfer the money across border. So that's kind of our objective, to be able to study how this interoperability between blockchain or DLT system interact, and what kind of question or what kind of problems or issues that we have to face in this kind of experiment. So I think the experiment went well. We can do this transfer between countries, but one of the main issue that we found is this is have nothing to do with the technology, but it's the problem. How can we find the liquidity to kind of match? Because the transfer between Thailand and Hong Kong is not equal. So when we do this transfer in the corridor network, we have to have what we call the settlement bank to kind of help with the liquidity shortage of one side to kind of balance it out, so we can do this transfer successfully. So it's become kind of the economics or finance kind of problem that we kind of found along the way.
So the finance problem that they found along the way, it didn't balance out. The currency between Thailand and Hong Kong was not equal. And because the currencies have a different rate, and they needed help with the settlement bank because one side had a shortage. This is why the digital asset XRP is used as a bridge currency. So they couldn't find that liquidity match, and the transfer between the two needed to have that settlement bank. And when you take XRP into the equation, it solves that. So that is why XRP doesn't compete with stablecoins. It complements it. Wow. Wow. I hope I don't have to go through that explanation again anytime soon. All right. Let's see. Are we just, yeah, I guess you can also see the article that was also written by this FX Street, and that XRP isn't competing with stablecoins and CBDCs. And this was actually from an interview that Emi Yoshikawa did. And she also talks about this same thing. So, okay, Alex, I think you got it now. You really should rewrite another article. We're jumping to the fluff, everyone. So, as you know, Japan loves its theme restaurants, its theme hotels, even its theme trains. This is a Hello Kitty train, of course. And last year there was this train that was in a collaboration with Disney, and it was a Mickey Mouse train. But there is a new train that is coming out, and it is with the collaboration of Pixar. And you can see the pictures of the interior look really fun with the Toy Story animation. How fun is that? I think that's just going to be really, really popular. It's down in the Kyushu area, and it goes, I think, to Kagoshima. So it's very south of where I am here in Tokyo. But if you do come to Tokyo and you are a gamer, there is a new place that opened up today, and it's free games. It is a place that you can have a drink and play as many games as you want. So it is just kind of gamers heaven, if you will. It's in Akihabara, which is the electric town, they call it. And it's called the Tokyo Video Gamers Bar. All right, everybody. Yes, do take care. Sayonara for now. Bye-bye.